In today's session, we're going to continue on the series on achieving breakthrough improvement and the implementation steps to achieve breakthrough improvement. So this is the ninth video in the series on the action steps to take to achieve that. And so we've gone through a bunch of the steps already and some of the things behind the scenes to achieve stability. When we start implementation, we want to make sure that we get big wins early. So that's so important to get those big wins early. So if we get the big wins early, we're going to get people moving to the positive side and the believers. So typically what we see is when we do design the future state, we have some people that are believers, some people that aren't believers, some people what I call the fence sitters. So those fence sitters are the majority, probably about 80%. So if we get big wins early, we move those fence sitters to the positive side. And then we need to reinforce the mindset. So we need to do coaching to reinforce the mindset because it's a totally different way of operating. Then we want to ensure we got the correct performance measures in place. So people behave in the way that they're measured. So if we have the wrong measurements, that's counter to what we're trying to achieve. We need to recalibrate the measures. Then the next one's the big one, following the rules. So we only have one rule when we're helping companies implement, and that one rule is we follow the rules, period, with zero exceptions. So why is that important? So when we establish the standard work, we need the people to follow that standard work. And so in most organizations I go into, people are used to breaking the rules. So the reason they break the rules is because there's some special cause of variation that happened that didn't allow something to happen when it should. And so then we got to take extra effort to correct that. So instead of taking the extra effort to correct it, what people do is they tend to break the rules. And so when we break the rules, what happens is that opens the opportunity for some problem to happen downstream. So it might not be in the process step that you're focused on or working on, but it's like, it's okay if we don't have everything we need. We'll get the stuff that we need as it progresses through the process. And so that rule is hard to establish, especially when there's a culture of breaking the rules. So for example, one of the rules that we put in place is full kit. So the rule is we don't start the work until we have full kit. So full kit is making sure that we have everything to complete the task before we start the task. And so if we don't have full kit, then we don't start the work. And so I've been in a lot of organizations. It's like, well, it's okay. We're missing this one thing. We don't need it till the fifth operation step. We'll have it by then. And then we break the rule. So then what happens is when we get to that process step, the one thing that was supposed to be there is missing, and now the flow stops. So it's extremely important to follow the rules and follow the rules 100%. And if the rule is not in place or the thing is not in place, we stop the process and we correct it immediately. So the next thing is provide corrective action when we have a issue to prevent people from breaking the rules. And if we do break the rules, then we got to go back and figure out why people broke the rules, recalibrate, fix it immediately, and make sure that the process is being followed to a T. And again, across multiple shifts. So we got to make sure that all shifts are trained and following the rules. If we do that, then we start to eliminate those special causes of variation that create the disruptions. Once we do that, then we're moving towards stability. So that's our session for today. Our one rule is we follow the rules without exception. And once we do that, then we start to get people conditioned to, when there's a problem, to stop, raise your hand, and then we resolve the issue, understand what created the issue, and then put the countermeasures in place to prevent those things from reoccurring. That's our session for today. Thanks for joining.